It seems that death is a subject that no one wants to discuss, but Mexicans are the opposite. They believe that the dead will live on in the other world. They believe the dead will return to the human world to be reunited with them on the Day of the Dead. So they put up pictures of the dead. They placed the food they liked before they died. A path is scattered with marigold petals to lead the spirits home. Miguel's family has a unique picture on their funeral pyre. The little girl on it is his great-grandmother. The woman is the great-great-grandmother, great-great-grandfather. But only one half of him remains. But the family didn't care what he looked like, because the man had left his wife and children behind to pursue his musical dreams. So his great-great-grandmother ensured no more music was in the house. But Miguel had a passion for music. He had a secret place where he kept pictures of his idol, De La Cruz. He usually practices here in secret. On the Day of the Dead, there's a music competition in the square. Miguel wanted to take the opportunity to perform, but as soon as he left the house, he was confronted by his family. He had to hide his guitar in the shrine, but he accidentally breaks his great-great-grandmother's photo. Then he accidentally finds that his great-great-grandfather is holding the same guitar as De La Cruz. His idol was his great-great-grandfather. Miguel excitedly tells his family about the news. Then his secret base was wiped out. The family warned Miguel if he followed the same path as that man, like him, he would be forgotten and banished from the family shrine. But Miguel doesn't care about that. Angry, his grandmother smashes his guitar to pieces. Miguel ran away sadly. He's still going to perform in the square, but the contestants must bring their instruments. Miguel remembered that his guitar was hanging in the shrine of De La Cruz in the cemetery, so he smashed the window with the sound of fireworks and borrowed the guitar. The guitar is stolen, attracting the attention of the cemetery guards. Miguel rushes to apologize, but he passes through his body. Miguel is stunned. No one alive could see him. The pair of skeletons are warm and welcoming to him. The deceased grandparents have also found Miguel. They didn't know what to do with him, but they took him to the world of the dead to find the ancestor in charge, Miguel's great-great-grandmother. Somehow, the grandparents were trapped in the undead world and couldn't escape. Miguel crosses a bridge of petals made of marigolds. This is the bridge that binds the living to the undead. When they take Miguel to the old ancestors, she was smashing her computer with her high heels. The computer showed that her picture had yet to be worshipped. The staff said Miguel was cursed because he stole from the undead. The way to break this curse is to get the family's blessing before sunrise. The old ancestor was holding a flower petal, but she added a rule never to touch music again. Miguel obliged. After returning to the world of the living without incident, he again took the guitar without hesitation. Then, he was sent back to the world of the dead again. His ancestors and family were determined to keep him away from music. Miguel thought that De La Cruz was family too. If he could get his blessing, he could return to the world of the living. With that in mind, Miguel slipped away. On his way to hide, Miguel discovered that an undead man called Hector and De La Cruz were old friends. He could get tickets for the concert, so they made a deal. Hector takes him to see De La Cruz. He then returns to the world of the living and puts his picture up for worship, so that he could cross the petal bridge. To avoid attracting attention, Hector made him up as a skeleton. Only Hector lied. He didn't have a ticket, but there was a concert in De La Cruz on the Day of the Dead. It just so happened that he knew where the concert was being rehearsed. He pulled off an arm, launched it upstairs, and knocked on the window remotely. The skeleton upstairs heard the commotion and lowered a staircase, and so they made their way into the rehearsal room for the concert. Unfortunately, De La Cruz never rehearses. He was busy hosting a lavish party. Now there's another way to meet him. There's a music competition in the square. The winner will get to perform at De La Cruz's party. To perform, you need an instrument. Hector has taken Miguel to a very bleak place. The people here are just like him. They are people without pictures, without altars, about to be forgotten. Hector finds Chicharon and wants to borrow his guitar, but Chicharon's body trembles. He can't hold on any longer. He asked Hector to play a song before he disappeared. Although Hector vowed never to sing again, he made an exception for Chicharon. Chicharon slowly dissipates to his favorite song. Death is not the final destination. Being forgotten by the living is. When no one in the world of the living remembers you, you disappear from the world of the dead and go on to your ultimate death. Although Miguel has never performed on stage before, but his musical talent and Hector's backing dancers made his debut successful, and that's when the ancestors found their way here. Miguel rushed off the stage with Hector in tow, forfeiting the title he was about to win. Hector was instantly pissed off. "You have other families in the undead world. I'm going to disappear like Chicharon. You're still lying to me about your stupid musical dreams." Miguel was also angry and threw the photo at Hector. Alone, He went in search of De La Cruz. Miguel arrives at the door of the party. He found the undead world handy for group photos. He rips his head off and puts it in his idol's hands. And that's it. In the end, Miguel was able to get into the party with the help of the winner of the music competition, but there were too many people there. To get De La Cruz's attention, Miguel climbed to the top and got up the courage to sing. He then played and sang, drawing the audience's attention and allowing him to reach De La Cruz. This way, grandparents meet grandchildren. On the other side of the room, Hector came in disguised as Frida, the artist. Just as De La Cruz was about to send Miguel back to the world of the living, Hector walks in. After an argument, Miguel was shocked. They were partners, and all of De La Cruz's accomplishments were plagiarized. He had taken the songs that Hector had written, and the parting scene Hector describes is similar to a film De La Cruz was in. But in the film, the partner poisoned the wine. Now it dawned on Hector, he was a musical genius. He left his family for his dream, but now he's come to his senses and wants to give up the show and return to his family. Now he's one step away from success, so his best mate De La Cruz kills him by poisoning his farewell drink. Hector is furious. He always thought he'd choke to death on a pepperoni. Little did he know that his best friend would ruin his life in order to take his music away from him. Now that things are falling apart, preventing Miguel from returning to the world of the living to talk nonsense and ruin his reputation, De La Cruz threw them into a sinkhole. That's when Miguel realized what his idol meant when he said he could take his chances. It's not about trying, it's about doing whatever it takes. He should have listened to Hector and gone back to his family. That's when Hector's body trembled. His daughter was about to forget him. He'd been trying to cross the bridge to see his daughter Coco again. Coco? Miguel pulled out the photo of his great-grandmother named Coco. So they were the family. That's when the old ancestor found the place with his kitten. Miguel told her that Hector had tried to return to her but had been poisoned to death. The old ancestor said she would never forgive again, but her actions were still honest. She infiltrated the concert with her family and went to De La Cruz to get the photo of Hector back. It turned out that he was the one who had killed the person he loved most. The old ancestor immediately smacked him across the face with his shoe. A chase and scramble under the cover of Skeletal Nunchaku. She got the photo of Hector, but she was standing on the lift and was sent to the stage. As De La Cruz's bodyguards got closer and closer, the old ancestor sang a song. Hector picked up the guitar next to her and played backing vocals. The atmosphere went straight to the top. After a bit of wrangling, the photo was back in the hands of the grandfather. She threw herself shyly into Hector's arms. She took out the flower petals and sent Miguel home. Only this time, no strings were attached to not touching the music again.
You're not going anywhere!
De La Cruz wants to kill Miguel. His aunt surreptitiously pointed the camera at him. Now he's murdering, stealing songs, and doing all the bad things he's done in front of many people on stage. De La Cruz threw Miguel off the stage and went back on to perform, only to be greeted by the audience's scorn. But Miguel was saved by a kitten. The kitten then grabbed De La Cruz and played with him twice in the air before kicking him under the bell tower. He was given another familiar experience. Hector's condition is getting worse and worse, but his picture had just fallen into the water. The sun is coming up. Miguel must also return to the world of living at once. When he wakes up, Miguel picks up his guitar and runs home, but his great-grandmother was too old. Neither the photo nor the guitar could bring back her memories of her father. Miguel has to sing the songs her father sang for her as a child. Her father's music awakened Coco's memories. She took out a notebook full of poems her father had written for her, and the torn-out photo. 1 year later, on the Day of the Dead, Hector stands apprehensively in front of the customs office. After all these years, he can finally step onto the pedal bridge to his family with a straight face. Although animated, this film has touched millions of adults. It's as if our dead relatives can cross the bridge and rejoin us in the human world. We also learn to face life and death more openly. If we don't forget, that person will always live on in our hearts. Because death is only a brief parting. We will meet again in another world.